I'm like shaking. I'm shaking. I've got to turn this down. If you're just gonna dump it and change, it does no purpose because you're not laying the body on them. You're not forechecking. They're getting the puck. They're being able to reload. Is that a delay of game? Was it tipped? They're saying it was tipped. Doro. Man, that was a really good elbow save from Skinner. Dorothea with 5 shots on goal, leading the team. Everyone else has 2. Guys, you gotta shoot more than that. We're on the brink of elimination. Wonderful, wonderful back check from Noah Hennepin. Overtime! Edmonton is just winning every single puck race. This is the worst that Vegas has looked all game, and it's in overtime. And a game that we're about to be eliminated in. Why did you give Coles in space? Who was that defenseman? Why did you? Oh my. Unbelievable. I am so pissed right now. Theodore or McNabb. That would have been Theodore. Just give Colson a ton of space to enter the zone. And like, you should have pressed there. I understand, like, whatever, but like, you were so close to him. Disrupt anything. They were not in the zones. Oh no, that does not taste. Oh, that's so bad. That's a root beer. If you're a dentist, look away. It's my tradition. Every year Vegas gets eliminated. For the first time in Vegas Golden Knight franchise history, the Vegas Golden Knights have been eliminated from Stanley Cup contention in the second round. Tip your hat to the Oilers. This guy, through the first 60, believed that Vegas was going to win. Pause. Handshake first. I feel like, thank you from the last video to Oilers fans, the ones that were respectful in my comment section, which was most of you actually, to be honest. Really grateful for positive interactions between the two fan bases, because before this playoff series in 2023, and honestly since, it's been pretty much nothing but negative. And like, understandably, right? A little bit, but I'm glad that we can like celebrate hockey together, right? Because that was fun. My heart rate was above 90 the entire third period. Overtime peaked at like 117, and man, I don't know if you guys felt that way. Vegas, so proverbial handshake through the camera. Good series. A lot less animosity this time, and it's probably because you guys just straight up killed us for game 1, game 4, and overtime of game 5 when Vegas was down 3-1 at home. Anyway, when the first 60 was up and overtime started, the way that Edmonton attacked was relentless. They had the puck more, they had more offensive zone opportunities comparatively against Vegas. Like, throughout the first 60, they had chances. They were out shooting us. The home team, down 3-1 in the series, was getting outshot. Great game from Skinner. Great game from Edmonton's defense in general. And similar to last season, Skinner in games 4 through 7 of the playoff series just really turns it up. And yeah, so does Adin Hill. Not game 4, obviously, but games 5 through 5. If Vegas had won this game, Adin Hill's best game of any series he's ever been in has been game 6. So I was thinking game 6 was going to be Adin Hill's best game of the series, and then we'd bring it back to Vegas for a thrilling game 7, which, to be honest, I'm kind of disappointed that this, like, no matter the result, Edmonton still could have won. Even though it would probably have been a lot more nerve-wracking for Edmonton fans and the franchise if, you know, you were up 3-1, pushed it to Game 7. I think in general, hockey fans are kind of robbed of this. I don't know how it's going to look out east. Florida, the remaining 4 teams is seemingly the most like entertainment to watch, I guess. But like Dallas, Winnipeg, you never know where you're going to get out of Hellebuck in the playoffs. So Edmonton, Vegas, like these 4 teams in the West are fantastic. Man, that the game-winning goal in overtime, I think it was Theodore. Dude, what the frick were you doing? You backed off of Podkolzin, gave him plenty of space to be able to send an open pass to whoever he wanted to as they were entering the zone with fresh legs. A complete boneheaded move that just pissed me off. Like if we lost off of a bad bounce or just a great shot from McDavid or Draisaitl or Corey Perry might have actually frustrated me. You know, it is what it is. But the fact that it was off of just the dumbest defensive play that Vegas made all day, that sucks. Ugh. No, that does not taste good. What the heck is that? I'm probably still gonna drink it, but not much to say about the game. The game, refs were not calling anything in third period, and I didn't see Kolzar's tripping penalty. I'm sure it was legit. I don't know. I didn't see a good replay angle on Bouchard's hooking call, so I don't know. They let things go. There were a couple of, but the refs have just been terrible all playoffs and every single game. It doesn't matter who the ref is, doesn't matter which teams are playing, they've just been awful. I'm not complaining about them rigging the game towards a specific team. I'm just complaining in general about how we have to deal with this as hockey fans. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. This league deserves so much better, and because the product is fantastic. Hockey is the greatest sport on earth. You take a bunch of 200-pound wrecking balls on skates going 20 miles an hour, 30 to 40 kilometers per hour with a piece of rubber that flings around in a bunch of different directions and can go any which way it wants, off the glass, off the bar, off of the pads, off of whatever, sticks and whatnot. And just a complete grind of a game that even 0-0 game, I don't know about other fan bases. I was on the edge of my seat. We were on the edge of elimination, and that might be why, but man, I don't know what to say. I was expecting to win, and so thinking through what I have to say now is rough. But Edmonton deserved the series. Vegas didn't show up for half the games. The games they did show up for, I do think that they were the better team for. So let's say this game was a wash. Both teams were fantastic. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the win in the playoffs. In the regular season, you can get by with moral victories, consolation victories, or whatever, losses even. Thinking, we did a bunch of good things, it just didn't go our way tonight. In the playoffs, none of that freaking matters. All that matters is getting the wins. And that's what Edmonton did. I do want to clarify one thing. A lot of times in sports, you get fans that say, we deserve this. Edmonton deserved the series win. No one ever deserves the cup. No one deserves, I think people deserve respect, but humanity, you never know what anybody's going through, right? But when it comes to the Stanley Cup, it's earned. It's not deserved. And Edmonton, if you want to go out and earn it, you got to keep up what you were doing this series. The tenacity, the relentlessness, the forechecking, all up and down the lineup. Every single line wants to win every race to the puck. And it's evident that that is just completely different than it was 2 years ago. So whatever philosophy is going through that locker room, that was, I don't know if that's what propelled them last year. I watched the finals. I didn't watch the second or third round as much for Edmonton specifically, because why would I? I hate that team. I don't know. I was going through a lot at that point. But honestly, hats off to the Oilers for doing a complete 180 from our series 2 years ago. Their depth is so good. Their defense played phenomenally. Stuart Skinner outplayed Aiden Hill. There's a couple of things I want to address to Vegas fans after this, but to finish off like Edmonton, something that Vegas couldn't do. I'm not sorry, and it's not a Canadian USA thing. Like seriously, none of that matters to me. I lived in Canada for a couple of years in Vancouver, but I would much rather like Toronto win over Florida, I guess, even though Leafs fans are insufferable, but for the most part, like anyway. But to be honest, like I'd rather Florida over you guys just because of the rivalry. I like it's stupid because I very much dislike Florida, but like I dislike y'all more. And there will be players on the if you guys and the other so many different thoughts going through. If you guys were to make it to the final, I would be happy for, and I said this in my game 4 video, I would be happy for Janmark, former Vegas Golden Knight legend, game 7 legend for us, he scored a hat trick. I would be happy for Zach Hyman, and I'd be happy for Connor Brown. Dude worked ridiculously hard to get back to this point, and everything that he went through last season and all that jazz. And good for him. If Ekholm comes back and is effective, yeah, I like Ekholm's game a lot. I'd respect it for McDavid, but that's pretty much it. I will literally like claw at my eyes if I have to witness Evander Kane lift the cup. But I'm sure you guys felt that way about Petro. It is what it is. It's the rivalry between him and Vegas, and I guess Petro and Draisaitl for you guys, but who knows? Go out and earn it, because it's not deserved, it's earned. Also, stop fighting each other. Oh my goodness, it's I've seen after every single game an Oiler on Oiler fight, which I know is not most of the fan base. I know it's just some knuckleheads that are too drunk to be able to process differently, but like that's a tough look, especially because the watch party in the square at the mall is like fantastic, right? I'd love to go to one of those for Vegas. I live in Georgia, so that's not going to work, but you guys have the depth this year to get it done. It's whether or not y'all can stay healthy. It is a war of attrition, and I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but Vegas does not, like Eichel took over this game. He was fantastic throughout the score sheet, throughout the series. Not as much as you'd want out of him, right? It's what we had 2 years ago. And there's part of me that wonders how much of it is complacency after winning the cup because you've done it, right? You've reached the peak of the NHL, of hockey. And how much do you want after that? You gotta go after it because one is not enough, especially for a fan base. I would hope for the players. Are you kidding me? But I don't know how much of it is that, because I thought that last year too against Dallas. And I also don't know how much it is the other thing that I thought, which is injuries. Mark Stone didn't play tonight, he was out. Probably shouldn't have played game 4. Honestly, like not good production out of him. I wonder if Eichel's hurt. Dorofeev's best game of the playoffs was today. I wonder if he's still hurt. And I legitimately am not trying to use this as an excuse, but every single playoffs we get a laundry list, it's usually out of Tampa recently at least, the injuries and different things that players have had that they played through. And if honestly, a lot of the times it's the team that's the healthiest that plays the best as the deeper we get into the playoffs. I would largely attribute Vegas beating Florida in 5 to the fact that Matthew Tkachuk broke his sternum, right? And Florida was probably beaten and battered. And last year, I'm sure you guys were beaten and battered by the time you guys got to the finals and were facing Florida, even though especially the first 3 games, and then you battled back and clawed back, and that was cool to watch. My son and I stayed up and watched Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final because it's not often that we have that, right? And he was only 4, so like I don't know how much of that he's going to remember, but it's something that he was rooting for the Panthers because he has this little Pink Panther keychain that he got from school. I'm an idiot. It's not going to get any better. That's disgusting. It was fine last year. I thought it tasted fine. So stay healthy while still being able to roll 4 lines, which will help with staying healthy. Especially if you get Ekholm back. Connor McDavid took a spill into the boards on a fantastic back check to stop an Olofsson chance early in the game. I think it was the first period, and he looked a little shaken and slow to get up. And that was, you never want that. You never want your opponent to get hurt or injured. And if you do, you kind of got something wrong with you, because cheering for injuries is never a good look. I don't care how much you dislike the player. I don't have much else to say. Honestly, Vegas did not play well. And if there's a laundry list of injuries that come out, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, because it just depended on the day, which Vegas team you were getting to play. Game 1, Game 4 looked awful. The beginning of overtime in Game 5 didn't look great. Vegas, it was a night and day difference watching, no pun intended on the night and day, between watching the game, the team that performed Game 3 to Game 4 to Game 5 from Vegas. So we'll see, I guess, what happens out of that. I saw a lot of jokes about Mark Stone being out for this game, is prepping for next year being on LTIR, and maybe, who knows? But honestly, Vegas doesn't have the capital to be able to trade to acquire anything. With what prospects? Trevor Connolly, I guess, and then another future first-round pick. Is what it is. I don't think this is the end of the rivalry. I hope not. You and Calgary, Edmonton and Calgary, have had it's the Battle of Alberta. It's historic, it's intense, and the fact that we only got that 1 year of that, like, it was terrible. Oh man, I want that. Vegas and Edmonton are able to do that, and we'll meet back again next year. Cool, great, fun. This was a fun series, despite the outcome. Ended in 5. This is the 3rd time Vegas has been eliminated in 5 games. First time ever eliminated in the 2nd round. Where do we go from here? This is Vegas fans. Where do we go from here? I'd like to re-sign Riley Smith. Anywhere under 4 for me is fantastic. 3.85 for another 2 or 3 years. But after that, most of our core is locked up. That Aiden Hill contract, right now it looks rough because he did not play well in the playoffs, but at the same time, he played really well tonight. He played well last game, to be honest, despite his antics. He made fantastic saves. He let in a weird goal or two, but that's not the point. Like, it wasn't on him, us being at this point. His save percentage and his goals saved above expected weren't great, but that's not entirely on him either. Like, I know that's a goalie stat, but it's not. It was just suspect defense in front of him and just ridiculousness. Him laying down in that overtime goal that was allowed, he didn't have any of his defenders sweeping the puck out, keeping Edmonton Oilers out of that area with their bodies or whatnot. And so, like, I don't know what he was supposed to do there. Content's not gonna stop. I have a couple of ideas of videos that I'm gonna do this summer, including a Fleury video, because he's my favorite player of all time, and he retired, so have to. I'm gonna make an updated jersey list video of the jerseys that I have, which grew actually 2 days ago, so that's fantastic. I'm not really gonna be cheering on a specific team after this point. Teams that I would like to see win the Stanley Cup, like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, go this team, but in order would probably be the Hurricanes, because Eastern Conference rivalry is not there, and their style of hockey, while like boring, quotes, technical or whatever, I don't know. I just like a lot of their players. They have William Carrier, who I love, Vegas Golden Knight, Misfit, Legend, etc. Stanley Cup champion. This might upset Vegas fan base, but Dallas, and sorry, Edmonton too. I really like the Dallas Stars. They have a lot. I like their young core, especially Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson, Miro Heiskanen, which I'm glad that he's returning. Ottinger, I'm missing someone. Logan Stankoven got traded, never mind. I'd be happy for Mikko Rantanen. Stars and Canes final would be really funny. So I'd probably go Canes, Stars, I guess like Haps, because that would be a fun treat. Winnipeg, I don't know, Winnipeg is weird. Mostly because of one person, which we all know. But then Toronto, then Florida, then Edmonton. In that order. I'm really glad y'all are here. Thank you so much for the support. We're the first team to be eliminated in the 2nd round. Unbelievable. I'm gonna switch, because me saying that made me think of something. We didn't win, but sticks are so good. They're unbelievable. Well, Gonna finish my ice cream, jam into some Taylor Swift, and sign off. Oh, okay. Man, good series. We'll be back, right? So many people mention a rebuild around Vegas. Just every time they lose, we made it to the second round. One of the best 8 teams in the league. We won the Pacific Division. Like, if the rebuild starts next year, I would be shocked. But crazier things have happened. I don't know. We'll see. That's gonna be it for round 2, Game 5's nightly review. Not much of a review, honestly. This game, more just grieving the fact that I lost, praising Edmonton, and saying what's next. But that's what you can do. That's all you can do at the end of a season. Thank you so much for watching. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. It just wasn't meant to be this season. I will be able to catch all my quote-unquote tears in my cup. This, honestly, like, winning the Stanley Cup took the sting out of playoff losses. So winning the cup so recently. Like, obviously, you want to win it again. But, like, Edmonton has 5. Vegas has 1 from 2 years ago. The 5 from Edmonton are from 35 plus years ago. And so, like, do any of them really care? Obviously they do. But, like, we're a very spoiled team. Spoiled, that's gonna be the name of the title of the video. Because oil is in it. And so it kind of has to be, right? The fact that in our 8 years of existence, we've been eliminated in the 3rd round or later from the playoffs more often than we've missed the playoffs or were eliminated sooner than that is mind-boggling. We are so lucky, Vegas fans, to be able to cheer for this team that is so constantly set on winning. And yeah, we've hurt a few people on the way there. And that's, I don't know. We traded away my favorite player. The guy I named my son after, like, his middle name is Fleury. And you're gonna hear that so often from me. These chicks are unbelievable. You want it again. You want it again the next year. You want it again 2 years later. You want it again the year after. I was thinking about the Blackhawks, how they won it 3 times in 6 years. 5 years, it was 6. They won their first one in 2010, did not win the next 2, and then went back to winning, then lost, and then won again the year after. So if Vegas can follow a similar pattern without any of the stuff that happened in that first one off the ice, that would be fantastic. But that's gonna be it for today's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. I look completely different, right? Like, this is a completely different face. Hi.